Hey, we're back in Glow's Kindred Kitchen again, and Glow just completed a garden pizza. So if you like pizza and you like veggies, this is a recipe for you. Try it out. It's very good, and it will be good any time in the year. So try it anytime you want and see what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and like our channel, and if you have any comments, we sure appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to Glow's Kindred Kitchen, and I'm Glow. Well, today I wanted to share a recipe with you guys that we have been making probably 30 some years, and it's actually our favorite and many of our friends' favorites. We have people that request that I bring this when we go to a barbecue or to someone's home for dinner. So I thought I'd share it with you, and there's many ways to do it. I know that there's other people that have this particular recipe or something similar. This one we've always called garden pizza. And you can make it in a dish like this, this is actually a pottery platter. And there's a bowl that I have that matches this, and this is so versatile. I use this for many things. But I'm going to bake my crust for my garden pizza in this. And you can use a stone, you can use a pizza pan, whatever you have. But I've even seen recipes where people will do it like in a 9x13 pan, which is just fine too. So just remember, it's your kitchen and you can do it whatever way you want. So what I did is I have a can of crescent rolls. And I went ahead and opened up this one. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it here in our pan. I'm going to put my glasses on. So what you want to do is to spread this out in whatever shape you want. And I usually do it like a round pizza. So I'm just going to go ahead, and this has been set out now for probably about 10-15 minutes. And I find that if I do that, it's easier to work with to get into the shape that you want. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start spreading this out onto this pan to have it go around and make a circle. So you can see how I'm starting to do this. And I'm going to go ahead and continue to do this, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like before I put it in the oven to bake it. Well, I've been working on this now for about a minute and a half, getting it all spread out. But I wanted to show you, like if you get holes here like this, it's very easy. This dough is just so easy to repair. And you want to put this in an ungreased pan. You don't need to grease it at all. So what I'm doing is I'm just touching up these little holes. And I'm going to make the edge. You can do the edge whichever way you want. You don't even have to have an edge if you don't like that, but we kind of like an edge. So there's a little hole there and a little hole here, one there. But see how nicely that all comes together? Just like, kind of like pizza dough, if you will.
Very nice, Miss Glow.
But I have my oven preheated to 375 degrees. And I'm going to put the crescent roll crust in there now. And it'll probably be cooking for about 10 minutes. And I'll be back with you to show you the next step. Hi, well, we just took our crust out. And as you can tell, and it took 12 minutes, not 10. The directions on the can say 9 to 12 minutes, so and mine took 12. But anyway, you can tell even with me pressing it all together, it did separate some while it was cooking, and that's just fine. You just don't want huge holes because we're going to be putting a dip over the top of this, and nobody will ever know. So I'm going to let this totally cool, and I'll be back with you in just a moment, and I'll show you how to make the dip. Hi, well now we're ready to make the dip to go on top of the garden pizza. And so what I have is just a small bowl here. This is one that I use a lot for stuff like this. And what we do is it calls for 8 ounces of cream cheese. And this is the the one that's got the calories reduced and the fat reduced in it by a little bit. So there we go with that. And it calls for 1/3 of a cup of real mayonnaise. And I would recommend using the mayonnaise over the Miracle Whip for this particular recipe. So,
why is that, Miss Glow? Because of the flavor? Or?
Yes, yes. Miracle Whip has other spices in it, as well as some vinegar. And the vinegar seems to be a little strong in it for this particular dip. So that's the only reason I would say that. And the mayonnaise is a little bit creamier. So we're going to go ahead and kind of stir this up. And I've had this cream cheese setting out for probably about 20 minutes to soften. If I hadn't done that, this would not mix together like it is right now. Plus it's summertime, which makes it easier too. If it was wintertime, you'd want to take it out a little bit sooner. But you can see how easy it is to blend when it's softened. There we go. So then the next thing is the original recipe that I had called for dill, 1 teaspoon. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Dill always pairs really well with veggies. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. And then one of the things that I do that's different is I put a 1/2 teaspoon of Monde. And Monde has salt in it. It has celery seed in it, and I think there's one other ingredient. No, that's it. Oh, onion. But this is very good with any kind of a dip like this, and it's also delicious like on eggs. So I went and I did a 1/2 teaspoon of that, and then I usually do a 1/2 teaspoon of parsley, dried parsley. So we're going to go ahead and just continue to blend this. And see how easy this comes together?
Very easy as well.
It's just very refreshing. And then the last thing I do is it calls for a teaspoon of minced or grated onion. I have probably about 1/8 teaspoon here, but we like onion. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. And this was finely minced. Kind of a recipe too that you can do up ahead of time and then just put it together before you leave or to have a party, or you know whenever you want to serve it. This is going to be refrigerated for a little bit. You could refrigerate this 24 hours or more, and the longer it refrigerates, probably the more intense your flavors are going to get with it. The crust that I made, quite often I will do that the night before or the morning of, and it turns out really well. The main thing is when you put this dip on, you want to make sure your crust is very cool. And then you can cut up all your veggies for the top, ahead of time as well. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to put in the refrigerator to just chill for a while. And then our next step will be we're going to cut up all the veggies, and I'll be with you towards the end of that to show you what they look like. Hi, well, I've been busy cutting up my veggies for my garden pizza, and I just wanted to show you how I destring my celery. I don't know about you guys, but our family, when our children were younger, really didn't care for celery because of the strings on it. They get caught in your teeth. I'm the same way. So what I do is, this is one of the outer pieces of the celery. So those are the ones that usually have the tough strings on them. So what I do, I started to string this and I thought, you know, I need to show you guys. You take the end of it here and you just pull and it'll come off. Let's see if I can start on this end because I've already pulled some of those over there on that end. Yeah, here we go. See how they come off? And that's the parts that get stuck in your teeth and make it where it's just not pleasant to eat. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to destring this. And I just wanted to show you that, and I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to be cutting this up in small pieces just like the rest of the stuff. And we'll continue to decorate the garden pizza. Well, now we're ready to go ahead and put our garden pizza together. And I wanted to share with you the veggies that I prepared for this. This recipe, you can use whatever you have in your refrigerator that you guys like for, you know, like a relish tray or whatever. Like I had a carrot, so I went ahead and I grated the carrot. So it's going to look like cheese. And this is green pepper, and I just cut it up in bite-sized pieces. This here is broccoli, and I just cut it up in small pieces, like that. And this here is an English cucumber, and you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of seeds in it because the seeds will start to weep, you know, around them, and it'll make your garden pizza a little too damp, I think. But that's up to you how you want to do it. This here, these are those grape tomatoes, and I went ahead and sliced them like pepperonis.
Looks good, Miss Glow.
And these are baby portobello mushrooms.
Ports.
These are red onions, and I cut them kind of big because I'm going to put those on top along with the tomatoes, and it'll look more like a pizza in the end. And this is the celery that I had shown you how I destring it, and then I just cut it up in small pieces. So let's go ahead and put it together. This is the dip that we made, and I'm just going to go ahead and start putting that on here. And you may not want to put all of it on. You know, it's up to you. We'll start spreading it out. I have a little left in the bowl. I'll probably use the whole thing, but that way I can see how it looks. And as far as this dip goes, you can put whatever herbs you want in it. If your family's not real fond of onion, by all means, don't put the, you know, minced onion in or grated onion. If you don't like dill, don't put the dill in, or the parsley. Marjoram goes really well with this too, and tarragon, oregano, whatever you guys like. So it looks like I'm going to be using all of that dip, which I usually do. And
put it on thick, Miss Glow.
You don't want it real thick because then it tends to be real messy when you're eating, and that's not what you want. But you can tell I don't spread it all the way out to the edge because that makes it easier too to pick up when you're serving it. Easier to eat. Let's see here. Here's a knife here. Just scrape the last little bit off. So when there we go. Radishes are also very good on this. I didn't have any radishes, or I would have been slicing some of those up to put on too. But I'm going to go ahead and get started on decorating, and I just kind of lightly sprinkle around, so every piece is going to have a, you know, hopefully a little bit of each veggie. And this is a good recipe too to get your children used to eating vegetables. Our youngest son, he really did not care for vegetables, and I got him eating like tomatoes or any kind of veggie by giving him ranch dressing on the side to dip it in. And I think it was a texture thing for him. Now he likes vegetables. But Actually, all of us like vegetables. They're just so yummy and refreshing. So I think I'm going to start next with the green pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and continue to do this, and then as I get towards the end, I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. Well, we're almost done decorating this garden pizza now, and I'm really looking forward to having this. We haven't made this probably since Christmas time. So
it's delightful, Miss Glow.
Put a few of these red onions on here. They call it red, but it's actually, you know, looks like purple onion, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And one of the reasons I do the larger onion like this is if someone doesn't like onion, it's very easy to pull off. So we're almost done here. I'm going to just put a few more of these tomatoes. We'll call it good. There we go. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to have this tonight. It just looks so pretty, and it's just one of those dishes that people really appreciate. It's refreshing, especially this time of year. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I wish you were here to enjoy this with us. Bye.